I sincerely hope that you, your family, your friends, your loved ones have not been affected or greatly impacted by the COVID-19 epidemic. But despite that, you may still not be feeling yourself. You might be feeling anxious, angry, stressed, confused, maybe even depressed. And that's not unusual. A lot of people are feeling that these days. For a lot of us, our careers have been turned upside down. There's a lot of financial insecurity right now. We don't know what's coming down the pipe. We don't know how we're going to get our lives back together, how we're going to pay those bills. It's tough on everybody. But in this episode, I'm hoping to share with you some strategies that you can implement to kind of keep it together and help you work through this in a safe and productive way, regardless of your situation. Now, I'm not a mental therapist or a practitioner. I don't pretend to be. So to do this episode, I interviewed a number of mental health specialists, and the information that they shared with me, I'm going to be passing on to you. So let's start off with you. I want you to know that whatever it is you're feeling, whether it be anxiety, depression, anger, frustration, whatever, it's okay to feel that way. I'm not sure if people are letting you know or they're trying to tell you that there's certain ways you should feel. I'm here to tell you that whatever you're feeling, it's okay. It's a personal thing how we deal with what's going on. It is nobody's job or position or right to tell you how to feel. So I want to give you personally, I want to give you permission to feel however it is you're feeling. Also, with regards to how you're dealing with the situation, that's something that we as individuals deal with differently. For some people, it's business as usual. They're almost dismissing the whole situation. They're going to work, they're running their business. Whatever they're doing to keep that sense of normalcy, they're grasping onto that, regardless of how normal it actually is. For other people, they're changing their habits in unusual ways. For some people, they're cleaning their house constantly. For other people, they've taken up exercising constantly. Or for some people, perhaps building a garden. I know I have some neighbors who've actually started building a garden in their backyard, believing that that's going to be their only source of food for the next while. I don't think that's going to happen. But you know what? If it makes them feel better to do that, who are we to judge? Who is anybody to judge? So I want you to know, if you want to lock yourself in the basement and watch Netflix and play video games, that's okay. You do it in a way that makes you feel comfortable. Ideally, though, in a way that doesn't have a negative impact on other people or puts other people in a difficult situation. For a lot of us, we have families, and it would be nice if we could just walk away and just kind of do our own thing, but we don't have that luxury. So we need to keep in mind that there are people counting on us. So we have to do a bit of a balancing act between what's good for us and what's good for the people who depend on us. But if we keep all of this in mind and we surround ourselves with people who support us, it'll be a little bit easier. So I encourage you to kind of share this belief, this permission, if you will, to do what works for you with other members of your household, and let everybody know it's okay. If somebody wants to build that vegetable garden in the backyard, that's okay. And if somebody else wants to play video games all day, that's okay. Because if you can use these as outlets to kind of get rid of your frustration or your anxiety, it'll make everybody not only emotionally healthier, but they'll get along a heck of a lot better. There's 4 key pieces of advice that were passed along to me that I want to share with you. And the first one is self-care. Now, this is absolutely crucial for your own emotional and mental health and well-being. You see, you need to do things that are right for you. And part of that is understanding that you're going to have to make some tough decisions. You're going to have to do things that you don't want to do, whether it be closing up your store or your business, laying off people, whatever it is, holding off on paying certain bills. Here's the thing though, you have to do this from a logic perspective, okay? Not from an emotional perspective, but from a logical perspective. And a way to do this is to kind of write down the basis of your decision. So for example, if you have to lay off, let's say, 2 out of 5 staff. Write down on paper what you need your staff to be able to do, what jobs there are needed to be done, and who can be best suited, and who can be redeployed into other jobs, and what jobs can be combined so that one person can do the job of 2. You have to do this logically. If you do this on an emotional level and just say, well, I don't like that specific person, they're kind of my least favorite, I'll lay them off first, what will happen is a couple things. Number 1, you're going to experience more stress. Number 2, you're going to start second guessing yourself. Number 3, you open yourself up to being questioned. You know, people will say, well, why that person, or why me, or why are you deciding to do these things? If you've thought about it logically, then you can back it up, because people are going to be turning to you and they're not going to be thrilled with some of the decisions you're going to make. So to avoid having a stressful situation on your hands, think about things logically. The same holds true for friends and family. It's important to set boundaries and limits. A lot of people may demand your time, your attention. You may find yourself needing to run more errands or do more things around the house, whatever it is. And we all have to step it up. But it's important that you know your limit. If you try to be everything to everybody, not only are they not going to get all of you that they need, but you're going to burn out and you're going to have a lot of stress. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I just can't do that many things. I can do 2 out of the 5 things you've asked for, or I can do that one specific job and I can do it really well. Let me do that first, then come back to me and ask me to do whatever else needs to be done. But it's important that you think about your own well-being first, because I have to tell you, nobody's going to think about your well-being as much as you. And this leads to us learning to be selfless, not selfish. So selfish is when you do things for yourself at the loss of other people. They go without so you can go with. That's selfish. I'm saying to be selfless. When you're selfless, you're taking care of yourself first in order to be able to better take care of other people. So for example, on an airplane, when the oxygen masks drop, what do they say? They say put it on yourself first, because by putting that oxygen mask on yourself first, you're better able to help those around you. And the same holds true now. You have to take care of your own well-being first. So if that means exercising, if it means going for a walk, if it means just taking some quiet time, taking a break from everybody, that's okay. It's something you need to do. And when you do it, you'll be better prepared mentally, emotionally, physically to be there for other people in the way that they need you to be. The next piece of advice I have for you is to keep a journal. That's right. If you just take a regular journal or even a pad of paper, start by writing down everything you need to do each day. Break it down not only by tasks, but by even time. So from 9 to 9:30, you're going to do this. From 10:30 to 11:30, you're going to do that. And stick to that schedule. Be sure to include time for meals, exercise, quiet time, jobs that you need to do, tasks, important things, whatever it is, phone calls, you name it, it needs to be on that journal. I also want you to start recording how much time you spend absorbing media pertaining to COVID-19. So how often you're reading the internet, how often you're watching the news, reading the newspaper, whatever it is, any media that you consume pertaining to COVID-19, I want you to record it by the minute. And here's why. I think after a couple days of doing this, you're going to find 2 things. First off, your productivity will increase. I know a lot of people, as soon as they've started to have to stay home, they've said to me, holy cow, I thought I'd have all this free time, and it turns out I have no free time, but at the end of the day, I haven't really done anything. Well, yeah, that's because they're not organized. They're just kind of doing whatever happens to come along or whatever they feel needs doing, but it's not structured, so a lot of time is being wasted. So again, keep that schedule. Another reason is because you'd be amazed how much time you're absorbing information, and sometimes too much information can be a bad thing. It can have a negative impact on our mental state. All we're getting is bad news all the time. Sometimes a little bit less can have a positive impact on us. And the truth is there's nothing we can do to change this anyway. So whether you read about the fact that certain cities or certain countries are increasing their number of infected people or the number of deaths, the fact is For most of us, there's nothing we can do to change this. So why allow all that information to just weigh on us and bring us down? I'm not saying to be ignorant of it, but I'm saying there comes a point where it's like enough is enough. Focus on what's important, and that being the safety of you and your loved ones. And finally, an important reason here is that the days will go by quicker and you'll get more done. A lot of people are just getting bored. I mean, they're at home all the time. They're just eating. That's why the term COVID-19 has started to catch on. They're just sitting around doing nothing except snacking. But if you create a schedule, not only will you be more productive, but the days will go by quicker as well. Now, the second reason to keep a journal is because it's a good opportunity for you to write down what's going on in your head. Now, that might sound a little corny, and you might be one of those people that say, you know what, I don't write down my feelings on a piece of paper. That's not my style. You know what? That's okay. That's not my style either, actually. But for me, what I've done is viewed it as a log, almost like I'm writing a book that future generations will refer to, that I can say, look, this is what we were going through as individuals, as a society. This is what we had to experience. These are the adjustments we had to make, and these are the ways it impacted us, not only on an emotional level, but even on a relationship level. Talk about how your relationship with your kids or your spouse is being impacted, or your friends. Are you starting to speak to people more virtually, or are you speaking to fewer people? Are you finding yourself becoming more withdrawn? If so, put these ideas, these concepts, these stories that you have down on paper. Not only will it allow you to kind of vent and get some of these emotions that you have out of you onto the paper, but it'll also provide a lot of clarity, and that clarity can really contribute to improved mental health. It'll allow everything to be kind of aligned in your mind and in your heart, and allow you to be more focused. And I know this can kind of sound a little corny, and I'm with you. It sounded corny to me too, but you know what? I tried it, and it works amazingly well, just to allow me to kind of focus and know what's important, and to not let the little things bother me. And I think that was, for me personally, a big thing, is I was getting really upset about little things and what was going on and what I could and couldn't change. And it's allowed me to put everything in perspective, and now I really focus on things I can change and things that will have a direct impact on me. And I think the same might hold true for you. Now, to really make this whole journaling thing work, what's important is that you never ask yourself to explain why you feel the way you do, even if it's just between you and the page. If you're feeling anxious or depressed or whatever it is, that's okay, and it's okay to state it on a piece of paper. It's just between you and that piece of paper. But instead of focusing on how you feel, focus instead on what you can do to change the way you feel, what relationships you can focus on or build or change or whatever, what actions you can do, whether it be going outside for a walk or exercising more or working on that backyard garden. These are things that can have a positive impact, and when you start to write all this down, the clarity will come, and you'll have a better idea on what you can do. But when it comes to your feelings and emotions, you don't have to explain that to anybody, including yourself. The next piece of advice I'd like to share with you is to get an app. That's right, something as simple as an app. All you have to do is load one on, and it'll help you relax. There's these apps that help you do that, believe it or not. There's Mindshift, there's Calm, there's Headspace, there's a few others. I have a list here. All you have to do is go to the Apple Store or Google Play and type in relaxing or meditation or anything like that. You don't have to do meditation if you're not into it, but you know what? Listening to some of these, they'll take you in a different zone. They'll clear your mind, they'll relax you, they'll have a huge impact. A lot of them are free. And you know what? You just grab your phone, put on some earbuds, 10 minutes, you're good. Everything will just be a little bit better. Something as simple as that can have a huge positive impact. And the final piece of advice I'd like to share with you is this. If things are becoming too overwhelming for you, if you just find yourself unable to deal with the situation, please reach out to a mental health practitioner. There's a lot of them out there who can walk you through things, who can kind of provide that clarity that maybe apps or a journal can't. And a lot of the appointments and sessions can be done over the phone or virtually, but they're there for you. That's their job, and that's what they're good at. And a lot of people might say, well, I'm too strong, I'm too tough to see a therapist. But the fact is, seeing a therapist is not about being weak, it is about being strong. Because when you see a therapist, you're coming face to face with your challenges. You're not hiding from them, you're attacking them head on, and you know it's something that someone can help you with. And we all need a little help at some point, but it's facing those challenges head on that make you strong. As well, you know that the better shape you're in, the stronger you are emotionally and physically and mentally, well, the better you'll be for others who are counting on you. So look out for yourself, look out for your family, and if you need some help, that's okay. Get it. Thanks for watching. I hope this video series has been of help to you, both professionally and personally. It's been brought to you by your professional association or organization because they understand the more information we share with each other, the more we can work together to get through this COVID-19 situation. Now, if you have any questions on what you've seen, I welcome you to reach out to me. I'm Marc Gordon. Stay safe, stay healthy, and perhaps one day we'll get the opportunity to speak in person. Take care.